What would you do with $1 billion? Besides all the obvious, house, cars, boat, hookers, there's a grocery store I frequent and this older gentleman and even older lady work there. They always seem so excited to see me. I'm gonna hook them up big time. I'd always wanted to design my own home and no mansion just bit above average space, but make it architecturally modern and pleasing. I got time to clean and why would I want someone else? It helps keep structure and discipline. Travel of course, still need to hit Japan, Scotland, Ireland and Wales, Taiwan and Singapore. Find a second place that I love to travel the most. Build a small house there only for like month-long stays. Biggest goal would start a company in gaming, just would love to work with people on that. Even if it was funding someone else's idea. Giving back also would be important. Invest and live off the interest. Start a charity that helps people with their medical bills to fill my time and give me tax write-offs. Buy a large plot of land and turn it into a no-kill dog and cat shelter. Install cameras everywhere and livestream the whole thing 24/7 on YouTube or Twitch. People can donate money. All goes towards the shelter for supplies, food, veterinary on site. Friday nights, local bands will come and play. Admission cost is 1 share on social media about the live stream to promote adoptions. I'd call it Barkaway Beach. Probably won't be near a beach. Maybe. I'd love to provide more no-kill shelters in areas that only have pounds and animals on death row, along with housing nearby for, say, refugees so they can work in the shelters. Nothing at all in terms of work. I'd buy a few properties around the world and bounce between them depending on my mood. I don't like big houses or flashy cars, so most people wouldn't know I had that kind of cash. Buy my brothers and parents their own houses. Give us each $1 million or so to keep us going and top up our income for the rest of our lives. I don't want to live extravagantly. I think it's a waste when people are choosing between heating and feeding their kids. I'd share the rest with different charities. Donate like hell to the food banks. Some family friends of mine are in a bad place and the kids are no doubt gonna be fucked up for the rest of their lives. So I get them a house too. Make a deal with their mom that I'd pay for their food if she promises to look after herself more. She's a good mom and she no doubt would look after her kids if she had better circumstances. I've grown up poor. If I can alleviate someone else's financial burdens, I will. Pay off my mortgage and my family's. Invest. Then I would spend the rest for a cure for ME, CFS, the illness disabling myself and millions around the world. There are almost no funding for it. Vanish. Nobody would ever hear from me again. I'd be living my best life on tropical islands and snowy hideouts. If I could invest smartly, I'd give back tons of money. But basically, I'd disappear and drop money for the best causes I could find. I just want to live happily in nice places, eating amazing food. I don't want cars or clothes or jewelry. I do want nice horses. That's my vice, lol. Make sure my parents and immediate family and friends are taken care of. Buy a dream home in my dream location and my wife's dream location. Make sure we have enough to live comfortably without worry. I'd start my own publication company. Help other fantasy writers get their dreams into books. I'd also probably work on making horror movies again. After sorting out family and friends, investments, and a family legacy business, I'd certainly create a housing organization to target ridiculous rental prices head-on and disrupt the industry. E.g., buy a house and rent it out for £500 PCM instead of the £1,200, £1,400 prices that landlords are currently charging. Homeless will employ you to renovate, maintain these properties, and you can live in them for even cheaper while you get on your feet. Study to get qualified to find another job. Then I'd target other industries that are crippled by greed and disrupt those too. I would finally be able to get me and my baby out of the situation we're in. We lost our home and have been staying in a crappy motel because I don't want to be in a shelter. I wouldn't want my child to experience that either, especially around here. I'd be able to have a decent home and also travel and see things and live life. I'd save a good chunk and put it into stocks too. I want my family to have generational wealth so they won't have to struggle in such a cruel world. I'd give everyone I know, well, several million, everyone I kinda know, $1 million, set up some lifetime payments to the charities I support, buy some apartments blocks and donate them to both women's and men's domestic abuse charities throughout the UK, buy a load of land so that it can't be fracked on, developed or otherwise fucked up, and designate them as nature reserves. Parks, I'm sure I can come up with more, but that's a start. I'd give everyone I know, well, several million. Everyone I kinda know, $1 million. Set up some lifetime payments to the charities I support. Buy some apartments blocks and donate them to both women's and men's domestic abuse charities throughout the UK. Buy a load of land so that it can't be fracked on, developed or otherwise fucked up, and designate them as nature reserves. Parks. I'm sure I can come up with more, but that's a start. Keep a quarter of it and then invest the rest into education in my home state of MN. Free school lunches plus any lunch debt paid off for K-12. Notebooks, pencils, pens, markers, erasers, etc. all supplied to each school in any amount they need. I'd create a scholarship program for students pursuing a bachelor's in education and provide school districts with the ability to pay a substantial relocation bonus to highly qualified educators. Raises for teachers across the state and increase the number of teachers to bring a teacher-to-student ratio down to 1/15. Keep maybe 50 million and invest it, as that's enough for generational wealth. And to live an extremely comfortable life off the returns alone, give some to family members like my sister, dad, aunts, uncles, and cousins I like, donate the rest, which the bulk of it I would make some of that immediate to charities important to me, and perhaps some in the form of a trust where I could donate each year using returns from investments of the large principal to many other charities. I'd finally be able to afford to get therapy and medication for my anxiety and depression, find a good home for my girlfriend and I, and not have to couch surf, live with my parents anymore. After that, I don't know, never work again probably. Pay off debts and be a full-time philanthropist, making the biggest positive impact on this planet that I could, while simultaneously putting multi-billionaires who hoard to shame in the process. Make affordable housing. Build apartments or homes and make the rent like stupid cheap. And everyone is accepted. Of course there would be rules like you have to keep your apartment house clean. I mean, you can have 3 cars on jacks or garbage strewn about. The deal would be keep your shit straight, keep affordable housing. The goal would be to try and give the mass population a chance to get that American dream again. Well, if it was $1 billion, I would immediately invest 500 million of it into real estate, gold, silver, property, and other hard assets. Another 100 million I will use to build a massive rehabilitation center or help center. Pretty much this center will act as rehabilitation for homeless people, provide free financial classes for those who can't budget well, offer basic adulting classes, and a bunch of other stuff. Pretty much I want a free center that will be able to assist people whether they are homeless or just a struggling family. It will be run completely off of volunteer service, so if a financial advisor wants to volunteer their time, then they can. I'm talking like alcoholic rehab and all of the above. Of course there would be eligibility requirements and other stuff. Non-felon, which depends on the crime and severity of the crime. I would also like to build a self-sustaining homeless center in the country. I'm talking like 1,000+ acre farm with vegetables, animals, and all that stuff to give people a chance to rehab. Step 1. Make sure the important stuff is taken care of: home, family, that sort of thing. Step 2. Buy every fucking politician in America. They come cheap, the bastards. Then ask them pretty please to invest in low-income housing, public transportation, green energy, education, ending the drug war and the Patriot Act, infrastructure especially in rural areas, and public health care. Appoint judges who aren't IV to the Federalist Society. Who cares if I don't have the billion anymore? I will be able to look anyone in the eye and feel confident that I helped make their world better. I'd probably keep working but use my financial security to run my business and not be stressed out about it. Grow my company, learn to delegate, take a vacation or a day off once in a while where I'm not thinking the whole time about the work I should be getting done. Enjoy being debt-free for life and having an obscene passive income just from interest. Oh, when I'd buy like 1,000 acres just to fuck around on dirt bikes, ATVs, firing range, the simple life. I'd probably keep working, but use my financial security to run my business and not be stressed out about it. Grow my company, learn to delegate, take a vacation or a day off once in a while where I'm not thinking the whole time about the work I should be getting done. Enjoy being debt-free for life and having an obscene passive income just from interest. Oh, and I'd buy like 1,000 acres just to fuck around on. Dirt bikes, ATVs, firing range, the simple life. I would hope that Mackenzie Scott would have a meeting with me and give me ideas on how to be a badass philanthropist. Then I'd give 96% of the money to charity that year so I didn't have to pay taxes on it. Then I'd have 4% left. Taxes would take half of that. And then I'd retire early and live off the dividends of a $20 M stock portfolio. I'd spend my time reading, exercising, writing, playing musical instruments, and seeing concerts.